Mccaskill. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I am great. So we met briefly in New York a few weeks ago, and I have to ask you the question that all the fight fans want to know.
Okay.
Which do you prefer, New York pizza or Chicago pizza?
Chicago pizza.
Good. Okay. No, I'm a native Chicagoan, and I live out there.
Okay.
And, you know, I have this debate. So what did you think about the fight, Serrano versus Hardy?
I thought it was a lot more entertaining than I thought it was going to be. I kind of thought it was going to be very quick, and in those first couple of rounds, it appeared as if it might have been a quick shutout. And you know, Heather Hardy is a tough fighter, and she kept it alive, and we had some great exchanges in there. So it was a great fight.
The next fight everyone is calling for is Serrano versus Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see that matchup?
I see a lot of boxing. I would love to see somebody brawl a little bit more, but I think once they both get in their element, there's going to be a lot of boxing, a lot of moving, and a lot of following to do.
Did you see the Taylor versus Brisson fight?
I was there for that fight, and I saw we were doing a lot of media coverage and a lot of fan pictures, and so I was kind of in and out of it. But I did see a good piece of it, yeah.
So you're the WBA and WBC.
Yes.
Are you looking for a rematch with Taylor?
Oh, of course, definitely. It was a great first fight, and I think I have a lot more to offer this fight. And she's moving up to 140 so that she can get the WBO. She's fighting, I believe, in November. And so we're going to be on the same wavelength again. You know, I'll have 2 belts, maybe 3 by that time, and then she'll have the WBO, and it's just going to be time to go again.
When you say a lot more to offer, what's different between now and the last fight?
My last fight, that was in 2017, and I turned pro in 2015, so I can't even remember how many fights I had at that time, but I was a young professional boxer, and even as an amateur, you're supposed to have 20 fights in Illinois in order to be able to fight. I had about 25, and so I was just on a very fast track from the very beginning. And so I've had more time, I've had more fights, more experience, and I think I have a lot more to be worried about. A lot more for Taylor to be worried about. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I know you have a background in investment banking. So what did you invest in boxing?
I've invested so much time into boxing, it's ridiculous. My mornings, my afternoons, my evenings, all of that is in boxing right now. I'm not home very much. I have to get a dog walker pretty soon here. But I'm putting a lot into the people that come here, the community, the kids that are here that want to be fighters, the fighters that come from other gyms where we have to show them, you know, what a real fight family is and how training should be and how important your health is and, you know, how to do things the right way. So there's a lot of things that I'm sharing, just knowledge and time with other people that I've been really blessed to be able to do.
Now, you say you're not at home a lot. Give us a rundown of your schedule, your basic daily schedule, because people don't see behind the scenes.
Yeah, they don't. So let's just pick Monday. I'm up at 3:50 in the morning and just try to handle a little business, make sure my dog goes out in the morning, and then I have training at 4:45. So I'm out of the house by about 4:20, something like that. And we train for an hour. I'm out of there at 5:45 and I'm racing to work very safely, of course.
Okay. Are we driving or
yes,
are we taking the
I'm driving.
The L?
No, that that would not work. Okay. So I'm driving to work and I have to be at my desk by 6 a.m. and I do some kind of a workout at lunchtime, whether it's cardio or stretching or some sauna time, just to keep my body intact. And then I'm off work at 3. I come here to Body Shot, help open up, help teach the kids class. I'm either doing my own training or helping someone else train. Depending on the day, we also have sparring 3 times a week. So on Mondays, I leave the house at about 4:30 and I get home at about maybe about 8:30.
Oh, so it's a full day.
It's an entirely full day, and then my bedtime is 9:30, so I have a little bit of time to kind of reset and get ready for the next day.
Okay, so infrequently, when you have those little moments of spare time, what does Jessica like to do for fun?
I'm a big nerd, so I love just like creating things and building things. I have a 3D printer that I haven't really touched in a long time. I like to play 2048. I have a ridiculous score on there. I watch fights. I hang out with my roommate. I spend time with my dog Blessing. She's a blessing. I like to sit by the fire pit. You know, it just kind of depends on if I'm going to have the time to actually do it or not.
That sounds like you just gave me an eHarmony profile right there.
Something like that.
Yeah. What kind of dog is Blessing? What kind of breed?
She's a Pitbull. She's a rescue from my hometown down south in St. Louis. And I saw her picture on Stray Rescue. They're a great organization that helps strays to just kind of overcome, like, there's so many people that are cruel to animals and leave them behind or do things, you know, that they shouldn't. And so I've always followed them. I had a previous dog from there, Diego, and he passed a few years ago, and I've just kind of been waiting to, you know, when is that time to get another dog? And I saw her picture scroll past, and someone had thrown her and her brother out of a moving car, and I fell in love. And it worked out so crazy because the person that was fostering her was from this area, and I didn't even have to go down there to get her. They brought her to me, and so of course her name is Blessing. It's amazing. Yeah.
So, a pit bull, do you feel like you have the spirit of a pit bull? I see you in the ring. And
well, it depends on how you perceive a pit bull. Pit bulls are, Blessing is an aggressive, affectionate. So even when she wants love, it's aggressive. Everything's very aggressive, and you'll bump heads, you'll run into each other because she's just always come forward. And so I can be very much like that, just very passionate about what I'm doing and coming forward and getting what I want.
So you're an investment banker. I know a lot of investment bankers and some stockbrokers, and they all gravitate to boxing.
Do they?
Yes. All white-collar boxing, pro boxers. What is it about that profession?
I don't know. You know what? I started boxing before I got into finance. I'm a communications major with a theater and dance minor, and so I've been doing like advertising for a while, and I came to Chicago, and that's when the investment banking started. So I crunch a lot of numbers. I'm not on the trading side. That's Rick. He's one of those guys that yells all day. Okay. But I'm on the backside just crunching numbers and things like that. So, but yeah, I have found that a lot of like white collar jobs tend to have different boxing events and boxing charities. So I think it's just the big change between the two worlds, which they're actually a lot alike.
Is it aggressive behind the scenes, not on the floor?
It can be, because there's a lot of time restrictions. You know, this has to be done by a specific time, or you're getting fined, or information is incorrect, and you have to have everything done fast and correct.
Now, notice you said you have a background in dancing. What kind of dance did you study?
It was just like a general kind of dance. I've always been a big fan of Debbie Allen and a lot of her work. I'm not really much into contemporary. Love salsa and hip hop. I've never done any kind of dance performance per se, but of course I did cheerleading when I was a kid. You know, I love to put the cheerleading picture of 12-year-old me next to grown boxer me, and it's a fun contrast. But I've always been in some kind of like sports and cheer and dance and that kind of thing.
So I'm guessing you have a foundation in ballet?
No, a lot of my foundation, let's see, I've always played sports, so basketball, and you know, throughout the years, different like flag football, cheerleading, pom, softball, whatever my mom would let me do, I was doing.
I mean, as far as dancing is concerned.
Dance,
Did you
just
study ballet?
No. Which would be an interesting concept considering football players, they do ballet. No, I think I've just been blessed to have decent footwork. So.
Okay. No, because there were rumors that Muhammad Ali used to study ballet,
right,
and help him with his footwork.
Right, I would believe it, definitely.
Yeah. Was it jazz or?
It was just like when you have a minor, it's not really a specified emphasis.
Gotcha.
So it's just kind of like a mix of a little bit of everything, the culture of what it is, the history of what it is. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Has it helped with boxing and boxing footwork?
I think so, definitely, because you learn when people have a rhythm, and then you try to get in on that rhythm, or if you're finding that you have a rhythm that can be a tell, so you try to break your rhythm, you try to do things off beat. So if I jab and I jab, you're gonna think, okay, here comes that jab. So then you have to get it off rhythm. You have to go off beat so that they're not expecting it, catch them off guard. So I think it does help to have that in my background.
And Cass Killer is the nickname.
Casskilla.
Cass
Yes.
Killer. How'd you get the nickname Cass Killer?
A friend of mine, Kate Strabley, from one of my marketing jobs way back when I first started. She came to my first exhibition bout, which was in 2008, and she mixed Godzilla. I say she mixed Godzilla and Mccaskill, my last name. It came up with Casskilla, and so that's what it was. I mean, for a while with sparring and things, I kept making people's nose bleed, so they were calling me the Bloody Nose Bandit. And I was just like, this is some random stuff, and I just hadn't found like that name yet. And then when she just looked at me and was like, Casskilla, and I was just like, I'll take it. So it's been that way since 2008.
It does have a ring to it. Do we have the trademarks for that yet?
No, not officially. I'll have to figure that out.
So October 12th, you're fighting at the Wintrust Arena in Chicago. How do you feel about that?
I love the Wintrust. It's such a great venue, and it's done so well by dazn and Matchroom, and they put on such a great show. And I'm excited for the fans to come to something like that, like such a great product. You know what I mean? It's not just a fight; it's a product. It's something to sell. It's something to see. It's an event. It's going to be great. I'm excited for it.
How does it feel to be fighting at home? Is this your first time fighting in Chicago?
No, last year this time was when I fought Erica Farias, and so that was the first fight here at home in the Wintrust. And I fought at UIC with Under Warriors, under their card, multiple times. And so it's great being here, especially now that I have such a solid fan base and tickets are selling like crazy. I think the only place you can get tickets now is probably through our gym site, because we keep getting more and more tickets because we keep selling out. But it's going to be great. Summer Lynn, she's also out of this gym. She's going to be having her pro debut. So it's the weight of my fight and the weight of her fight, and so there's a lot going on right now.
Do you get more charged to fight at home or on the road?
I would say probably at home, because you have a lot of fans out of town that you don't realize that you have, and there's people that just kind of adapt to you and your team once they kind of see you out in the street. So you have fans and you have people that cheer for you. But at home, I remember my last fight. I can hear the crowd. I looked out in the crowd and I could see everybody wearing their green shirts. And so it's just like knowing they're there and hearing certain people yell, and it gets you charged up, which can be dangerous. You got to keep your composure. So I really enjoy fighting at home for the fans. When you're away, it's a little different. You get to relax a little bit more. So like right now, you guys are out here at the gym, and then when people come in town, when Usyk comes, we'll be preparing the gym for him. So I'm doing a lot of like giving as well as like working on my own stuff.
That is incredible. I'm so happy for you.
Thank
because
you.
It's like cool to see a Chicago homegirl do her thing.
Yeah, thank you.
So are you claiming Chicago or St. Louis as your hometown?
I'm claiming Chicago. I've been here since 2012, and everybody has really adopted me as their own, which is a great feeling. So I claim Chicago. I have a home here, but every time I get a chance to shout out the Lou, I do. So shout out to St. Louis and all of my family members there in Belleville, Illinois.
Okay, so St. Louis, Chicago, Twister or Nelly?
Twister, definitely Twister. I've never been a big Nelly fan.
No?
I mean, he's cool, but like Twister is like, that's college. You're like taking me back.
Okay, the Hill or the Village?
I wouldn't know either one of those.
The Hill's in St. Louis. Where they have.
And then the Village.
Village right down the street over here, the UIC.
Neither. Now you gotta remember, I eat very healthy, so I've been to the Hill, but there's not a whole lot there, and no, neither.
No,
neither.
When you say healthy, are you on the vegan kick?
I am not. We do have a fighter here, Kim Carlson. She's fighting for the 2020 Olympic trials. She's vegan, so she's always trying to get me to try weird stuff. So I don't mind dabbling at all. There's some places here in Chicago that are all vegan, and I'm into trying it for sure.
And what would you like to say to all your fans out there?
Oh, I'm so excited to be fighting for you guys. I'm so excited that you guys are following my career. Thank you so much. There's more to come. Not just the fights, the community outreach, the public speaking, coming out to all the schools. Shout out to the Franklin Stars back in Belleville and the Central Raiders. You guys are a lot of inspiration for what I do. So thank you guys so much.
And how can they reach out to you on social media?
Jessica Mccaskill everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Just look up Jessica Mccaskill or Team Mccaskill and you'll find me.
That is the beauty of a business degree. Everything's on brand.
Clean.
I love it. Thank you.
Thank you.